Welcome to 3ds Max. Today's assignment, we're going to learn how to use standard primitives. We are also going to learn how to modify those primitives and move those primitives. We're going to learn how to rename them and to change the color. We will also learn how to render and submit assignments today. The very first thing I want you to do is to go up to the top of your screen, click on Customize, and then click on Unit Setup. And let's make sure for today's lesson, we're under metric. Then click OK. Over here on your right-hand side of your screen, you have several tabs and tools. This tab here with the plus sign is the Create tab. This box that looks like it has a little arc in it or a rainbow, that is the Modify tab. Next tab over is the Hierarchy tab. And those are the only three tabs we're going to be concerned about in the immediate future. While the Create tab is selected, I want you to click on the button that says Geometry. It's just a circle. And we're going to draw a plane. And we're going to do this in our top view. So let's come over to our top view, click, and just drag a box or a plane. Okay? And we've created that. And once you see it, it's giving us plane here. Here's another name for the plane. Here's the color of the plane. And here are our parameters. We want to change these parameters. Okay? So to do that, I have to click on Modify. I'm going to change my length to 10. My width to 20. I'm not concerned about the length and width segments today, so let's not worry about that at all. But I do want to go up here to where it says plane, click in that box, and then type in the floor. So I've renamed this part. And it's now over here is the name of it as well. Now, I've drawn this whole thing, but you really can't see it all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my mouse down here to this button that says Zoom Extends All Selected. I'm going to click on that. And that's going to zoom out so that everything that in my work area is seen. Now, it's hard to see because this is a solid color and perspective, but in my other three quadrants, they're in wireframe. So I'm going to click in this top quadrant. I'm going to click my mouse in there. And on my keyboard, I'm going to hit F3. And that's going to toggle between wireframe and default shading. Okay? I'm going to keep it as default shading for what we're going to do today. I want to change, I'm going to click on the floor, and I'm going to change the color of my floor. I'm going to click over here, and that brings up the object color. All right, this is our 3ds Max palette, but we also have an AutoCAD palette. If I click here, and it has a lot more colors. All right, so for today, for the purpose of this assignment, I'm going to change my floor to like a sky blue. That changes the color of the floor. Now I have other items that I want to put on this floor. So I'm going to go over to my Create tab. I'm going to choose Box. And in my top view, I'm going to create a box. I'm going to click my mouse and drag it while I'm holding it down, and that's going to create the base of the box. I'm going to let go of my mouse. And then I'm going to just drag the mouse up, and that's going to create the rest of my cube. And when I'm finished with the size of it, I click it one time, and it's created. Now, I want my cube to be a specific size, color, and location. So I'm going to click on the Modify tab. I'm going to name box 1 cube. I'm going to go to length, make it 3. Go to width, make it 3. And go to height and make it 3. These numbers, the segments don't mean anything right now. Okay? And then I'm going to go up here and I'm going to change my color to red. So now I have a red cube on the floor. Now, I can move this around in this perspective view. I can move this around so that we can get a good view of what we're looking at. Okay? Now, I'm going to go back to my Create tab, and I'm going to create a sphere. Go to my top view, click, and drag out my sphere. And it's going to create this sphere for me. Now, a few things I want to change about this sphere before I'm finished with it. One, I'm going to call it the ball. And then I'm going to click on the Modify tab. And I want my radius of my sphere to be 1.5. I want my segments to be 200, because that will make the sphere extremely smooth. Now, I want to change my color to orange. And then I want to use Select and Move by clicking this button or hitting W on my keyboard. I'm going to move my sphere next to my cube. Now, as I do this, I want you to notice a few things. If I have my mouse in the middle of the sphere, I can move it in any direction that I'd like. But if I only put it over the arrows, it's only going to move in the direction of those arrows. Okay? Now, if you look, our sphere is in the middle of our plane or our floor. So with my Select and Move selected, I want to move it only with this arrow right here so that it fits nice on our floor. Okay? While we're here, before we go any further, I want you to go to File, Save As. We're going to save this to our desktop. You're going to create a folder and save it in your folder. So I'm going to create, right click, New Folder. The new folder that I want to create, I'm going to call it DDA1 and save. Open DDA1. I'm going to save this as standard primitives. And up here, you should see standard primitives. So now we know we've saved this. All right. Next item we're going to do is a cylinder. Click, drag to give me the base of my cylinder. Let go, drag up to give me my height. Click it one more time. I'm going to hit Zoom Extends All so I can see where everything is. Now, if I want the whole picture to be Zoom Extends All, I'll select this, select off of everything so that nothing is selected, and then hit Zoom Extends All. All right. But for right now, I'm going to select this, go to Modify. We're going to keep it as the cylinder. All right. We're just going to take off the numbers and type the word "the" in front of it. Okay. So the cylinder. Radius, just like everything else, 1.5. Height, the height 5. Segments don't make a difference, but our sides, I want to make 200. And I want to color this yellow. And then going to move it. Create. We made a cylinder. Let's make a torus. A torus is like a donut. All right. The first click is going to drag out. It's going to show how wide, how big this is going to be. The second one is going to be the inner radius. All right. So for this, let's call this torus the donut. Change the radius 1 to 1.5. Change radius 2 to 1.0. All right. And then let's use select and move to put this on our plane. All right, and let's color it green. All right, let's go to create, and let's do a teapot. All right, the teapot's very simple. We're just going to click on here, drag it out, and it's going to create a teapot for you. Crazy thing about the teapot is, once we can go over here and realize that we may not want everything that's part of the teapot. We may not want the handle. We may not want the spout. We may not want the lid. All right. For what we're doing today, I want you to take the lid and the spout off. So we just have basically a mug. All right. We're going to change the radius of this to 1.5 so it fits with everything else. We're going to change the color to blue. All right. Let's go to create. And let's go to cone. Cone works the same way as tube did, or as your cylinder did. We're going to click, drag out the base, let go, drag up the height, and then drag it in to give it a point. All right. We're going to modify this. We're going to call it the cone. We're going to make the radius 1.5. We're going to make radius 2. Doesn't make a difference. Height, we want to be 5. And we want to change this color to purple. All right. Let's go over here to tube. Click it, drag out the base, drag up. The second click is going to give you the width of the tube, and drag up the height. All right. We're going to call this the tube. Click modify. You guessed it, the radius 1.5. Make radius 2, 1. Let's make the height 5. Sides 200. And let's color this cone black. This tube is black. All right. And last but not least, we have our pyramid. Pyramid's a square, just like we did the box. We're going to draw out a square. let go, and drag up. It's going to give us our pyramid. All right, I'm going to move our pyramid over. We're going to call this the pyramid. And we're going to color it white. Now you can move this, use your mouse and this box right here, click it and drag it, and you can manipulate so you can see it all. All right. Also, the middle mouse button, the little roller button, if you push it down, you're going to get a little hand item that comes up. You can drag it over so you can see everything. Now, at the top of your screen, yours might look like this right now. All right. What I want you to do is take your mouse until you get these little 4 arrows. In this area right here, click it and drag it straight down. And that'll give you access to these buttons here. All right. So in this view, what I'd like you to do while we're here is to go up top to rendering, go down to environment, and where it says color, click on that. And I want you to choose, let's choose a kind of a darkish blue like this. Now, when I select this, my color comes in the background here. For you guys, you're going to have to select render preview to see it. Okay. All right. And then we'll click OK. So don't worry if you can't see this right now. What you want to do is click in the perspective view and then click this render production. And you should get a rendered view of what you've created. All right. Let's click back on our teacup over here. Let's go back to modify and let's put a lid back on it. And then now we'll render. All right. Now that we have all of our primitives put on our plane and we've named them all, we have one more thing that we want to learn how to use today. And it's called the Text Plus. And we're going to use this to personalize your assignments. So click on Text Plus, and then I want you to type your name. And then I want you in your front view just to click your mouse. And that puts your name in the front view. Now, if you look, we're backwards over here. All right. So what we're going to do for today is we're just going to spin this around. So now it's in the front. Now, our name looks kind of small. We want to make our name bigger. So up here, there's a button that says select and uniform scale. We're going to click on that. And we're going to make sure that Text Plus is highlighted. And there's 2 ways we can highlight. We can change the size of this. But for today, let's do this. Let's click on our word and make sure that we have not this axis highlighted, not just this axis highlighted, but the middle axis. We'll click and we'll drag it, and that'll make the name larger. Okay? Now, we need to modify this. So with our Text Plus selected, go over to our Modify panel, scroll down to where you can see Geometry and Extrude. First thing I want you to do is click on the box that says Apply Bevel. And then I want you to go to Extrude. And we're going to extrude our words out to about 0.05. Just large enough so we can see it. Okay? And then we want to render. And here's our final. Now, we're going to submit this in two ways. The first way, we're going to submit a rendered view. So once you're here, I want you to click on the Save Image, and I want you to save this as a JPEG. Okay, so file type, we'll call this SP1, Standard Primitives 1. Save as a JPEG file, and we're saving it in our folder that we created. Okay? We'll close this. The second way we're going to render this, or submit this, is I'm going to go down here into this menu here. I'm going to hit the letter S for snipping tool. We're going to select the snipping tool. We'll click a new snip, and I'd like you to snip everything from the words so that we have the name of everything we've created. All right. Snip your top view, your front view, your left view, and your perspective view. So I want all of this selected. I'm going to go to File, Save As. We're going to save this in our DDA folder. We're going to call this SP2. SP2, and it's a JPEG file. Save. All right. Then I want you to come over here to your Canvas course under Standard Primitives, and we're going to submit both of these photographs in here for your assignment.